And Yahuwah visited Sarah as he had said, and Yahuwah did to Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born to him, whom Sarah bore to him, Yitzhak. And Abraham performed with Mullah upon his son Yitzhak, being 8 yamim old, as Elohim has commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yitzhak was born to him. And Sarah said, Elohim had made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same yom that Yitzhak was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Agar the Mitzri, whom she had birthed for Abraham, mocking. So she said to Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son Yitzhak. And the thing was very severe in Abraham's sight because of his son. And Elohim said to Abraham, let it not be severe in your sight because of the lad, and because of your bondwoman. In all that Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice. For in Yitzhak shall your Zerah be called. And also of the son of the Eved woman will I make a nation, because of your Zerah. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took Lechem in a bottle of Mayim, and gave it to Agar, putting it on her shoulder, along with the child, and sent her away. And she left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the Mayim was used up in the battle, and she cast the child under one of the shrugs. And she went and sat down opposite him 12 ways off, about the distance of a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And as she sat opposite of him, and lifted up her voice and wept, and Elohim heard the voice of the lad, and the heavenly Malach of Elohim called Agar out of the Shemayim, and said to her, what is the matter with you, Agar? Fear not, for Elohim has heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in your hand, for I will make him a great nation. And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of Mayim, and she went and filled the bottle with Mayim, and gave the lad drink. And Elohim was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran. And his Ima took him an Isha out of the land of Mizraim. And it came to pass at that time that Avimelech and Pichol, the chief captain of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, Elohim is with you in all that you do. Now therefore swear to me here by Elohim, that you will not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the chesed that I have shown to you, you shall do to me and to the land in which you have sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham will prove Avimelech because of a well of Mayim, Avimelech's Avadim has violently taken away. And Avimelech said, I don't know who had done this thing, neither did you tell me, neither did I hear of it until today. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them to Avimelech, and both of them made a brit. And Abraham set 7 whole lambs of the flock by themselves. And Avimelech said to Abraham, what do the 7 whole lambs mean that you have set them by themselves? And he said, for these 7 whole lambs shall you take of my hand, that they might be a witness to me, that I might dig this well. So he called the place Beersheba, because there both of them swore. So they made a brit at Beersheba. Then the Melech was up, and Pichol, the chief captain of his army, and they returned into the land of the Plishtim. And Abraham planted a grove in Beersheba, and called there on the name of Yahuwah El Olam. And Abraham sojourned in Plishtim's land many yamim. And it came to pass after these things that Elohim did test Abraham, and said to him, Abraham, and he said, See, Hineni. And he said, Take now your son, your only beloved son Yitzhak, whom you love, and get into the land of Moriah, and offer him there a burnt offering upon one of the mountains of which I will tell you. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his donkey and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and cut the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went to the place that Elohim had told him. Then on the 3rd Yom, Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place far off. And Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey, and I and the lad will go over there and worship and come again to you." And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon his son Isaac. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spoke to Abraham his Abba and said, "My Abba." And he said, "Hineni, my son." And he said, "See the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?" And Abraham said, "My son, Elohim will provide himself a lamb for the burnt offering." Then went both of them together, and they come to the place that Elohim had told him about. And Abraham rebuilt an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to kill his son. And the Malach Yahuwah called to him out of the Shamayim and said, "Abraham, Abraham." And he said, "Hineni." And he said, "Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do anything to him. For now I know that you fear Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only beloved son, from me." And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and saw behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and looked the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of this place Yahuwah Yireh, as it is said to this Yom on the Har, Yahuwah is seen. And the Malach Yahuwah called to Abraham out of the Shamayim the 2nd time and said, "By myself have I sworn, says Yahuwah, because you have done this thing, and I have not withheld your son, your only son, that in the bracha I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your zerah as the kochavim of the Shamayim, and as the sand that is upon the seashore, and your zerah shall possess the cities and the gates of its enemies. And in your zerah shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice." So Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to be after these things, that it was told Abraham, saying, "See, Milcah, she has also borne children to your brother Nahor, whose is Bachor, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel the Abba of Aram, and Chesed, and Hazor, and Pildash, and Yidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begat Rivkah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Reumah, she bore also Teva, and Gaham, and Tahash, and Maachah. And Sarah was 127 years old. There were the years of the Chaim of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kiryat Arba, the same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah, to weep for her. And Abraham stood up from before his dead, and spoke to the sons of Chet, saying, "I am a ger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession for a burial place with you, that I might bury my dead out of my sight." And the children of Chet answered Abraham, saying to him, "Hear us, my master, you are a mighty Sar among us. In the choicest of your sepulchres bury your dead. None of us shall withhold from you his sepulchre, so that you might bury your dead." And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even to the children of Chet. And he communed with them, saying, "If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, listen to me and inquire for me to Ephron the son of Soar, that he might give me the cave of Machpelah, which is at the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it me for a possession for a burial place among you." And Ephron dwelt among the children of Chet, and Ephron the Hittite, and served Abraham in the audience of the children of Chet. even all those that went in the gate of his city, saying, No, my master, hear me. The field I give you, and the cave that is in it, I give it to you. In the presence of the sons of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead. And Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spoke to Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if you will give it to me, please hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered to Abraham, saying, My master, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that between you and me? Bury therefore your dead. And Abraham listened to Ephron, and weighed for Ephron the silver which he had named in the presence of the sons of Chet, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave that was in it, and all the 18 that were in the field, that were in all the borders all around, were made sure into Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Chet, before all that went in the gate of his city. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his Isha in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre, the same is Ephron in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is in it were deeded to Abraham for a possession of burial place by the son of Chet. And Abraham was old and well stricken in age, and Yahuwah had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his eldest Eved of his bait, that ruled over all that he had, Please put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by Yahuwah, the Elohim of the Shamayim and the Elohim of the earth, that you shall not take an Isha for my son out of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. But you shall go to my country and to my mishpacha and take an Isha for my son Yitzhak. And the Eved said to him, Suppose the woman will not be willing to follow me to this land. Do I need to bring your son again to the land from where you came? And Abraham said to him, Beware that you bring not my son there again. And Yahuwah Elohim of the Shamayim, who took me from my Abba's bait and from the land of my mishpacha, and who spoke to me, and that swore to me, saying, Unto your Zerah will I give this land. He shall send his malach before you, and you shall take an Isha for my son from there. And if the woman will not be willing to follow you, then you shall be clear from this oath. Only bring not my son there again. And the Eved put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning that matter. And the Eved took 10 camels from the camels of his master, and departed, for all the items of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. And he made his camel to kneel down outside the city by a well of Mayim at the time of the evening, even the time that women go out to draw Mayim. And he said, O Yahuwah Elohim of my master Abraham, please send me with your bracha this yom, and show chesed to my master Abraham. See, I stand here by the well of Mayim, and the daughters of the men of the city come out to draw Mayim. And let it come to pass that the young girl to whom shall I said, Please let down your pitcher that I might drink, and she shall say, Drink, and I will give your camels drink also. Let the same be she that you have appointed for your Eved Yitzhak, and thereby shall I know that you have shown chesed to my master. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking, that Rivka, who was born to Betuel, son of Milcah, the Isha of Nahor, Avram's brother, with a pitcher upon her shoulder. And the young girl was very beautiful to look at, a virgin, neither had any man known her. And she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. And the Eved ran to meet her and said, Please let me drink a little mayim from your pitcher. And she said, Drink, my master. And she hurried and let down her pitcher upon her hand and gave him drink. And when she had done giving him drink, she said, I will draw mayim for your camels also until they had done drinking. And she hurried and emptied her pitcher into the trough and went again to the well to draw mayim and draw for all his camels. And the man, wondering about her, held his silence to see whether Yahuwah had made his journey prosperous or not. And it come to pass, as the camels had done drinking, that the man took a golden earring of half of a shekel weight, and 2 bracelets for her hands of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said, Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is the woman your Abba's bait for us to lodge? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, that she bore to Nahor. And she said moreover to him, We have both straw and fodder enough and womb to lodge. And the man bowed down his head and worshipped Yahuwah. And he said, Ba'uat Yahuwah Elohim of my master Abraham, who has not left my master destitute of his rachamim and his emet. I was traveling in a way, and now Yahuwah had led me to the bait of my master's brother. And a young girl ran and told of her Ima's bait these things. And Rivkah had a brother, and his name was Lavan. And Lavan went out to the man to the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earring and bracelets upon his sister's hands, and when he heard the word of Rivkah his sister, saying, This is what the man spoke to me. Then Lavan came to the man as he stood by the camels at the well. And he said, Come in, you blessed of Yahuwah. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the bait and womb for the camels. And the man come into the bait, and he undressed his camels, and gave straw and fodder for the camel, and Mayim to wash his feet, and the man's feet that were with him. And there was set food before him to eat, but said, I will not eat until I have told of my errand. And he said, Speak on. And he said, I am Avram's Eved, and Yahuwah has blessed my master greatly, and he is become great, and he has given his flocks and herds and silver and gold, and male avadim and female avadim and camels and donkeys. And Sarah my master Isha bore a son to my master when he was old, and to him has he given all that he has. And my master made me swear, saying, You shall not take an Isha for my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, on whose land I dwell, but you shall go to my Abba's bait and to my Mishpacha, and take an Isha for my son. And as I said to my master, Suppose the woman will not follow me. And he said to me, Yahuwah, before whom I have my Alacha, will send his Malach with you and prosper your derech. And you shall take an Isha for my son, from my Mishpacha, and from my Abba's bait. Then you shall be clear from this oath when you come to my Mishpacha. If they give you no one, you shall be clear from my oath. And I came this yom to the well and said, O Yahuwah Elohim of my master Abraham, if you do prosper my derech in which I go, see, I stand by the well of Mayim, and it shall come to pass that when the virgin comes out to draw Mayim, and say to her, Please give me a little Mayim from your pitcher to drink. And she said to me, Drink, I will draw for your camels too. Let therefore the same one be the woman whom Yahuwah has appointed for my master's son. And before I had done speaking in my lev, see Rivkah come out with her pitcher on her shoulder. And she went down to the well and drew Mayim. And I said to her, Please let me drink. And she hurried and let down her pitcher from her shoulder, and said, Drink, and I will give your camels drink also. So I drank, and she gave the camels drink also. And I asked her and said, Whose daughter are you? And she said, The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put the earring upon her face and the bracelets upon her hands. And I bowed down my head and worshipped Yahuwah and blessed Yahuwah Elohim of my master Abraham, who had led me in the right direct to take my master's brother's daughter to his son. And now if you will deal kindly and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I might turn to the right hand or to the left. Then Lavan and Bethuel answered and said, This thing proceeds from Yahuwah. We cannot speak to you bad or tov. See, Rivkah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be your master's son's Isha, as Yahuwah has spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's Eved heard their words, he worshipped Yahuwah, bowed himself to the earth, And the Evids brought out jewels of silver and jewels of gold and clothing, and gave them to Rivkah, and gave also to her brother and to her Emah precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with them, and stayed all Lila. And they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away to my master. And her brother and her Emah said, Let the young girl stay with us a few yamim, at least 10. After that she shall go. And she said to them, Do not hinder me, seeing Yahuwah has prospered my way. Send me away that I might go to my master. And they said, We will call the young girl and ask her. And they called Rivkah and said to her, Will you go with this man? And she said, I will go. And they sent away Rivkah, their sister, and her nurse, and Avram's Eved and his men. And they blessed Rivkah and said to her, You are our sister, now become the Emah of thousands of millions. And let your Zerah possess the gate of those who hate them. And Rivkah arose and her young girls, and they rode upon camels and followed the men. And the Eved took Rivkah and went his way. And Yitzhak came from the way of the well Lachairoi, for he dwelt in the south country. And Yitzhak went out to meditate in the field in the evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and see the camels were coming. And Rivkah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Yitzhak, she was lifted from off the camel. For she had said to the Eved, What man is this that walks in the field to meet us? And the Eved had said, It is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself. And the Eved told Yitzhak all things that he had done. And Yitzhak brought her into his Emah's tent, and took Rivkah, and she became his Isha, and he loved her. And Yitzhak was comforted after his Emah's death. Then again Abraham took an Isha, and her name was Keturah. And she bore him Zimran, and Yokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishvak, and Shua. And Yokshan begat Sheva and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan were Asherim, Letushim, and Leumim. And the son of Midian, Ephah, and Epher, and Hanoch, and Avidah, and Eldad. And these were the children of Keturah. And Abraham gave all that he had to Yitzhak. But to the son of the concubines whom Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Yitzhak his son eastward to the east country. And these are the yamim of the years of Abraham's Cain, that he lived 175 years. Then Abraham gave up the Ruach and died in Tov old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And his sons Yitzhak and Ishmael buried him in a cave of Machpelah, in a field of Ephron, the son of Sor, the Hittites, which is before Mamre. The field that Abraham purchased from the son of Chet, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his Isha. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Elohim blessed his son Yitzhak, and Yitzhak dwelt by the well Lachairoi. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whose Agar the Mitzri, Sarai's handmaid, bore to Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their name according to their generations. The Bachor of Ishmael, Neviot, and Kedar, and Advil, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Adar, and Tema, Yetor, Nafish, and Kedama. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their settlements, 12 princes according to their tribes. And these are the years of the Chaim of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the Ruach and gathered to his people. And they dwelt from Avilah to Shor, that is before Mizraim, as he go towards Ashur. Facing their brothers did they settle. And these are the generation of Yitzhak, Abraham's sons. Abraham begat Yitzhak. And Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Rivkah to be his Isha, the daughter of Betuel, the Aramean, of Padam Aram, the sister of Lavan, the Aramean. And Yitzhak sought Elohim for his Isha, because she was barren, and YAHUAH was found by him, and Rivkah his Isha conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, If it is so, why am I like this? And she went to inquire of YAHUAH, and YAHUAH said to her, 2 nations are in your room, and 2 kinds of people shall be separated from your bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her yamim to be delivered were fulfilled, see, there were twins in her womb. And it came to pass, and the first come out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esav. And after that come out his brother, and his hand to hold on Esav's heel, and his name was called Yaakov. And Yitzhav was 60 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew, and Esav was a skilled hunter, a man of the field, and Yaakov was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Yitzhak loved Esau because he did eat his venison, but Rivkah loved Yaakov. And Yaakov cooked pottage, and Esau came to the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Yaakov, Please feed me with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Yaakov said, Sell me this yom, your Bechorah. And Esau said, See, I am at the point of death. So what profit shall this Bechorah be to me? And Yaakov said, Swear to me this yom. And he swore to him, and he sold his Bechorah to Yaakov. Then Yaakov gave Esau lechem and a pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. So Esau despised his Bechorah. And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the yamim of Abraham. And Yitzhak went to Avimelech, Melech of the Plishtim, to Gerar. And YAHUAH appeared to him and said, Go not down to Mitzrayim, to dwell in the land that I shall tell you about. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you, for to you and to your zerah I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swear to Abraham your Abba. And I will make your zerah to multiply as the Kochavim of the Shamayim, and will give to your zerah all these countries, and in your zerah shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my mitzvot, my chukim, and my Torot. And Yitzhak dwelled in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him about his Isha. And he said, She is my sister, for he feared to say she was my Isha, lest said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rivkah, because she was beautiful to look at. And it came to pass, when he had been there for a long time, that Avimelech, Melech of the Plishtim, looked at the window and saw Yitzhak playing with Rivkah his Isha. And Abimelech called Yitzhak and said, See, of a certainty she is your Isha. Why did you say she is my sister? And Yitzhak said to him, Because I said otherwise I would die because of her. And Abimelech said, What is this you have done to us? One of our people might have unknowingly lain with your Isha, and you will have brought guilt upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that touches this man or his Isha shall surely be put to death. Then Yitzhak sowed in that land, and received in that same year 100-fold return. And YAHUAH blessed them, and the man grew great, and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and a great supply of avadim. And the Plishtim envied him, for all the wells that his Abba's avadim had dug in the yamim of Abraham his Abba. The Plishtim had stopped them, and filled them with earth. And Avimelech said to Yitzhak, Go from us, for you are much mightier than us. And Yitzhak departed from there, and camped in his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Yitzhak dug again the wells of Mahim, which he had dug in the yamim of Abraham his Abba. But the Plishtim had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names by the names that his Abba had called them. And Yitzhak's avadim dug in the valley, and found there a well of running Mayim. And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Yitzhak herdsmen, saying, The Mayim is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they dug another well and strove over that one also. And he called the name of it Sitnah. And he moved from there and dug another well. And for that one they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now Yahuwah has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from there to Beersheba. And Yahuwah appeared to him in a similar light and said, I am the Elohim of Abraham your Abba. Fear not, for I am with you, and I will bless you and multiply your zerah for my Eved Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there and called upon the name of Yahuwah and pitched his tent there. And Yitzhak's Avadim dug a well. Then Avimelech went to him from Gerar and Hauzat, one of his Havarim, and Pichol, the chief captain of his army. And Yitzhak said to them, why do you come to me, seeing you hate me and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that Yahuwah was with you. And we said, let there be now an oath between us, and even between us and you, and let us make a brit with you, that you do us no harm, as we have not touched you, and as we have done to you nothing but tov, and have sent you away in Shalom. And you are now blessed of Yahuwah. And he made for them a feast, and they did eat and drank, and they rose up early in the morning and swore one to another. And Yitzhak sent them away, and they departed from him in Shalom. And it came to pass, the yom that Yitzhak's Avadim came and told him concerning the well that they had dug, and said to him, we have found Mayim, and he called it Shiva. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this yom. And Esau was 40 years old when he took his Isha, Yehudite, the daughter of Beeri, the Hittite, and Bathsheba, the daughter of Elam, the Hittite, which caused grief of mind to Yitzhak and to Rivkah. And it came to pass that when Yitzhak was old, and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said to him, my son. And he said, see, Hineni. And he said, see now, I am old, and I know not the yom of my death. Now please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go to the field and find me some venison, and make me tasty meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I might eat it, that my being might bless you before I die. And Rivkah heard when Yitzhak spoke to Esau his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison to bring it. And Rivkah spoke to Yaakov her son, saying, see, I have heard your Abba speak to Esau your brother, saying, bring me venison and make me tasty meat, that I might eat and bless you before Yahuwah before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command you. Go now to the flock and get me from there 2 head of goats, and I will make from them tasty meat for your Abba, such as he loves. And you shall bring it to your Abba, that he might eat, and that he might bless you before his death. And Yaakov said to Rivkah his Ima, see, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My Abba will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring the curse upon me, and not a bracha. And his Ima said to him, upon me be your curse, my son, only obey my voice, and go get them for me. And he went and took and brought them to his Ima, and his Ima made tasty meat such as his Abba loved. And Rivkah took nice clothing from her elder son Esau, which were with her in the Bait, and put them upon Yaakov her younger son. And she put the skin of the kid of the goat upon his hands, and upon the smooth part of his neck. And she gave the tasty meat and the lechem which he had prepared into the hand of her son Yaakov. And he came to his Abba and said, my Abba. And he said, Hineni, who are you, my son? And Yaakov said to his Abba, I am Esau your backward, and I have done accordingly as you told me. Please arise, sit up, and eat from my venison, that your being might bless me. And Yitzhak said to his son, "How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son?" And he said, "Because Yahweh your Elohim brought it to me." And Isaac said to Yaakov, "Please come near, so that I might feel you, my son, whether you are willing my son Esau or not." And Yaakov went near to Yitzhak his Abba, and he felt him and said, "The voice is Yaakov's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy as his brother Esau's hand. So he blessed him, and he said, "Are you really my son Esau?" And he said, "I am." And he said, "Bring it near to me, and I will eat of my son's venison, that my being might bless you." And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and brought him wine, and he drank. And his Abba Yitzhak said to him, "Come near now and kiss me, my son." And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his clothes and blessed him and said, "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field that Yahuwah has blessed. Therefore Elohim give you from the dew of the Mayim and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let the people serve you and nation bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your Ima's son bow down to you. Cursed be everyone that curses you, and blessed be he that blesses you." And it came to pass, as soon as Yitzhak had made an end of making the bracha upon Yaakov, that Yaakov had just gone out of the presence of Yitzhak his Abba. And see, Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had been tasting meat, and brought it to his Abba, and said to his Abba, "Let my Abba arise and eat of his son's venison, that your being might bless me." And Yitzhak his Abba said to him, "Who are you?" And he said, "I am your son, your Bakor Esau." And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, "Who? Where is he that has taken venison and brought it me, and I have eaten of all before you came, and have blessed him? Yes, and he shall be blessed." And when Esau heard the word of his Abba, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, and said to his Abba, "Bless me also, O my Abba." And he said, "Your brother came with subtlety, and has taken away your bracha." And he said, "Is not he rightly named Yaakov? But he has supplanted me this 2 times, and he took away my Bechorah. See now, he has taken my bracha." And Esau said, "Have you not reserved a bracha for me?" And Isaac answered and said to Esau, "See, I have made him your master, and all your brothers have I given to him for avadim, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now for you, my son?" And Esau said to his Abba, "Have you not just one bracha, my Abba? Bless me, even me also, O my Abba." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his Abba answered and said to him, "See, your dwelling shall be away from the richness of the earth, and away from the dew of the Shamayim from above, and by your sword shall you live, and shall serve your brother. And it shall come to pass, when you shall have the dominion, that you shall break his yoke from off your neck." And Esau hated Yaakov because of the bracha with which his Abba had blessed him. And Esau said in his love, "The yamim of mourning for my Abba are at hand. Then will I kill my brother Yaakov." And this word of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rivkah. And she sent and called Yaakov her younger son, and said to him, "See, your brother Esau concerning you does comfort himself by purposing to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, and arise and flee to Lavan my brother to Haran, and stay with him a few yamim, until your brother's anger turns away, until your brothers turn away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and get you from there. Why should I be deprived of both of you in one yom?" And Rivkah said to Yitzhak, "I am weary of my chayim because of the daughters of Het. If Yaakov take an isha from the daughters of Het, such as these who are the daughters of the land, what tov shall my chayim be to me?" And Yitzhak called Yaakov and blessed him and charged him and said to him, "You shall not take an isha of the daughters of the Canaan, Arise, go to Padam Aram, to the Bayit of Betuel, your Ima's Abba, and take an Isha from there, from the daughters of Lavan, your Ima's brother. And El Shaddai bless you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you. And you shall become a great nation. And El Shaddai give you the bracha of Abraham, to you and to your Zerah with you, that you might inherit the land in which you are a ger, which Elohim gave to Abraham. And Yitzhak sent Yaakov away, and he went to Padan Aram to Lavan, son of Betuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rivkah, Yaakov's and Esau's Ima. And when Esau saw that Yitzhak had blessed Yaakov, and sent him away to Padan Aram, to take him an Isha from there, and that as he blessed him and gave him a charge, saying, You shall not take an Isha from the daughters of the Canaan. And that Yaakov obeyed his Abba and his Ima, and had gone to Padan Aram. And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan did not please Yitzhak his Abba, then went Esau to Ishmael, and took besides the wives that he already had, Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Neviot, to be his Isha. And Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went toward Charan. And he come upon a certain place, and stayed there all Lila, because the shemesh was set. And he took off the stone of that place, and used them as pillow, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed and see a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to the Shamaim, and see the heavenly Malachim of Elohim ascending and descending on it. And see Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham your Abba, and the Elohim of Yitzhak. The land which you lie, to you will I give it, and to your Zerah, and your Zerah shall be as the dust of the earth. And you shall break out abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in you and in your Zerah shall all the mishpachot of the earth be blessed. And see, I am with you, and will keep you in all the places where you are going, and I will bring you again into this land. For I will not leave you until I have done that which I have spoken to you. And Yaakov awoke out of his sleep, and he said, Surely Yahuwah is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! There is no other place but Beit Elohim, and this is Shar Shamayim. And Yaakov rose up early in the morning, and took up the stone that he has put for his pillow, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz first. And Yaakov vowed a vow, saying, If the word of Yahuwah will be with me, and will keep me in this derech that I go, and will give me the lechem to eat and clothes to put on, so that I come again to my Abba's bayit in Shalom, then shall the word of Yahuwah be my Elohim. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be Elohim's bayit. And of all that you shall give me, I will surely give the Maaseh to you. Then Yaakov went on his journey, and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and see, there were 3 flocks of sheep laying by it, 4 out of the well that they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And there were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in its place. And Yaakov said to them, My brothers, where are you from? And they said, From Haran are we. And he said to them, Do you know Lavan, the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said to them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And see, Rachel his daughter comes with the sheep. And he said, See, it is still bright, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Give Mayim to the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, We cannot until all the flocks are gathered together, and until they roll the stone from the well's mouth. Then we might give Mayim to the sheep. And while he had spoken to them, Rachel came with the Abba's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his Emma's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his Emma's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flocks of Laban, his Emma's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her Abba's relative, and that he was with God's son. And she ran and told her Abba. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him into his bait. And he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, Surely you are my bone and my flesh. And he abode with them about a Kodesh. And Laban said to Jacob, Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me for nothing? Tell me, what shall your wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters, and the name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were tender, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Yaakov loved Rachel, and said, I will serve you 7 years for Rachel, your younger daughter. And Laban said, It is better that I give her to you, than I should give her to another man. Stay with me. And Yaakov served 7 years for Rachel. And it seemed to him but a few yamim, for the avah he had for her. And Yaakov said to Laban, Give me my Isha, for my yamim are fulfilled, that I may go into her. And Laban gathered together all the men of the place, and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, that he took Leah his daughter, and brought her to him. And he went into her. And Laban gave his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for her handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, see, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this you have done to me? Did I not serve you for Rachel? Why then have you deceived me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country, to give you the younger before the Bechorah. Fulfill her 7 years, and we will give you Rachel also for the service that you shall serve with me yet 7 more years. And Yaakov did so, and fulfilled her 7 years. And he gave him Rachel his daughter, for an Isha also. And Laban gave also Rachel, and Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went also into Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served him yet 7 more years. And when Yahuwah saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, and Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son. She called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely Yahuwah has looked upon my affliction, now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again and bore a son, and she said, Because Yahuwah has heard that I was hated, he has therefore given me this son also. And she called his name Shimon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bore a son, and she said, Now will I Hallel Yahuwah. Therefore she called his name Yehudah, and ceased bearing. And when Rachel saw that she bore Yaakov no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said to Yaakov, Give me children, or else I will die. And Yaakov's anger was lit against Rachel, and said, Am I in Elohim's place? Who has withheld from you the fruit of the womb? And she said, See my maid Bilhah, go into her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I might also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah her handmaid to be his Isha. And Yaakov went into her. And Bilhah conceived and bore Yaakov a son. And Yaakov said, Elohim has judged me, and has also heard my voice, and has given me a son. Therefore she called his name Dan. And Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bore Yaakov a second son. And Rachel said, With great strife have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. And when Leah saw that she had left barren, she took Zilpah her handmaid, and gave her to Yaakov to be his Isha. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Yaakov a son. And Zilpah said, A troop comes, and she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Yaakov a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters shall call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the yamim of wheat harvest, and found love apple in the field, and brought them to his Ima Eliah. And Rachel said to Leah, Please give me some of your son's love apples. And Leah said to her, It's a small matter that you have taken my husband, and would you take away my son's love apple also? And Rachel said, Therefore let him lie with you tonight for your son's love apples. And Yaakov came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went to meet him and said, You must come in to me, for surely I have hired you for my son's love apple. And he laid with her Delilah. And Elohim listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Yaakov the fifth son. And Leah said, Elohim has given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and bore Yaakov the sixth son. And Leah said, Elohim has endued me with a tov dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have borne him six sons. And she called his name Zebulon. And afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And Elohim remembered Rachel, and Elohim listened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived and bore a son, and said, Elohim has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, Yahuwah shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Yaakov said to Laban, Send me away, that I might go to my own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and let me go. For you know my service that I have done for you. And Laban said to him, Please, if I have favor in your eyes, stay, for I have learned by experience that Yahuwah has blessed me for your sake. And he said, Appoint me your wages, and I will give it. And he said to him, You know how I have served you, and how your cattle were with me, for it was little which you had before I came, and it is now increased to a multitude, and Yahuwah has blessed you since my coming. And now when shall I provide from my own bite also? And he said, What shall I give you? And Yaakov said, You shall not give me anything. If you will do these things for me, I will again feed and keep your flock. I will pass through all your flock today, removing from there all the speckled and spotted cattle, all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats. And those shall be my hired. So shall my tsedakah answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hired before your face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goat and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted as stolen with me. And Laban said, See, I would it might be according to your word. And he removed the male goat that were ringed, streaked, and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them into the hand of his sons. And he set 3 yamim journey before himself and Yaakov. And Yaakov fed the rest of Laban's flock. And Yaakov took rods of green poplar, and of hazel, and chestnut heads, and rounded white streaks in them, and made the white appear that was in the rod. And he set the rods that he had rounded before the flocks, and the gathers in the watering troughs when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought out cattle ringed, streaked, speckled, and spotted. And Yaakov did separate the lamb, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring strip, and all the brown in the flocks of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and did not put them in Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whenever the strong cattle did conceive, that Yaakov laid the rod before the eyes of the cattle in the gutter, that they might conceive among the rods. But the cattle were feeble, and he put them not in. So the feeble were Laban's, and the stronger Yaakov's. And the men increased exceedingly, and had many cattle, and female avadim, and male avadim, and camels, and donkeys.